She can introduce me any day. You know, one of the problems when you're sent into bat after tea is that bad lights might stop play before you get a chance to make any run. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's so great to be here. And I want to thank Grace Kennedy and Western Union for affording me the opportunity to talk with members of the Jamaican community here in New York. You know, Grace Kennedy is one of the things that are good about Jamaica. Don told you about the extent to which the company has expanded. Its annual revenues over $750 million US. It has its footprints in countries all over the world, over many continents. One of the things that he didn't tell you is that half of those revenues come from outside of Jamaica. Which means that Grace Kennedy is not just a Jamaican company, it's a global enterprise. And that is significant. But what is also interesting is that although in a sense Grace has outgrown Jamaica, it has never abandoned Jamaica. What it has done, it has taken Jamaica to the world. And that really is you know, as the Trinis would say, Grace Kennedy is Jamaican to the bone. And we're proud of that. GK Money Services is an important part of the Grace family. You have heard about all the services that they provide through their partnership with Western Union, the interconnectedness with virtually every country in the world. If you want to know what Grace Kennedy Money Services and Western Union means to the Jamaican people, just go into one of those branches in Jamaica on a Friday afternoon and watch the people going in and out. And then you will get an idea as to what that means to their daily life experience and how important it is. And it's good that they have conducted town hall meetings like these because it gives them an opportunity to connect with their clients, with their customers, to interact, to get your feedback so that they can know how to serve you better. But importantly, it gives them an opportunity to share with you, as they have done this evening, some of the challenges that they face in serving you. And the biggest challenge, without a doubt, is the business of scamming and illegal activity that many people try, because of how convenient it is, try to facilitate through their network. Now, scamming has become big business back home. It is now the alternative to drugs in terms of the fast accumulation of wealth. And it has become very attractive too, as a significant lure to young people. Now, no good deed ever goes unpunished, you know. Some years ago, over the last 30 years, we started building call centers at first, and now we've graduated to BPOs. They do well for Jamaica. They bring in about $500 million US of foreign exchange each year. They provide jobs for 26,000 people. And in order to prepare for this, in order to attract those investments, we started training people in telemarketing skills and customer service skills. So what we have now is a whole army of young people who have been trained in how to get on the phone, talk to people, transact business.
Yep.
Technology, as good as it is, carries its risks. There was a time when they used to try to steal telemarketing lists out of the call centers and the BPOs. And when the call centers and BPOs tightened up their security so that they couldn't get easy access to those lists, they found creative ways of going online and getting lists of persons who can be called up. Now let me just spend a little, I spent some time before I left home talking with some of the senior police officers who are involved in this matter. These guys are smart. They will find a way to go online and get information about people who habitually gamble regularly online, buying sweepstakes and lottery. Some of them go further. They're able to find ways to identify those online gamblers who have won some money. Not big money. Win at $100, a couple of $100. In some cases, you may win at $1,000. And when you get a list like that and you call them up, and you say, congratulations, you have just won $10 million. This is a guy who gambles regularly. This is a guy who has one little couple of shillings. And all of a sudden he has now caught the jackpot. But you have to send some money for the processing fees and so on. Now, this thing has become interwoven with criminal activity back home. Let me explain. If you're able to develop a list like that, it may not be a long list, you know, it's not thousands of people. You develop a list like that of 80 people. That list is valuable. You can sell it to a syndicate back home for big money. Or you may cut a deal. You can say, here is the list, but this is how much I want out of it when you start to collect. If when they start to work the list, you don't collect, somebody may be killed. If you sell me the same lists that you went and sold somebody else, you may be killed. Because the rules of the game don't allow that sort of something. Now if the money comes in, and the money not share up right,
somebody are dead.
It's not somebody may be killed, your whole family may be wiped out. To send a signal to others, don't mess around. It's not uncommon back home to see a youngster fresh out of school, young 20s, driving a brand new BMW and flashing around a whole heap of money. So it's a big problem for us. It's not only our problem, it's a worldwide problem. It is estimated that here in the United States, some 20 million people become victims to some kind of scamming, some kind of fraud. And it is said that it involves the loss of up to $10 billion a year. Now, of that amount, Jamaica is reported, and we have no hard figures on this. The estimate that I have got in terms of how much of that scamming emanates from Jamaica ranges from 300 million to as much as $1 billion. It's hard to pin it down because you're going on crude estimates. So it is big business. And as I said, it has now become the alternative to drugs. I want to say something more. There have been instances where when the scammer calls up someone, and maybe someone who has been scammed before so that they have become wise, when they don't cooperate, or when they don't send the money, the scammer would have Googled the address long time. The scammer says to him, don't you live in a house with a porch at the front? And you have a little garden around the side? Well, hear me now. Scammer now drop the deception, not into not deceiving business no more. Hear me now. I have my people right in the area, you see. If you don't send that money by tomorrow, what will happen to you? So that it moves now from scamming to extortion. Don spoke about the damage it does to Jamaica's reputation. When services like Grace Kennedy and Western Union instituted stricter controls to try to keep this kind of activity out of their network, what some of them did is that they resorted to a thing called money mules. So people would collect the money in America and then transport it, find some way of transporting it back again. But then of course if you collect the money and you disappear, your family back home might disappear. This thing is more endemic and more challenging than drug trafficking to deal with. And the government is doing a great deal, both the present government and the preceding government. They put in new laws to target scammers. They set up a special unit within the police force to try and track down the scammers. So far, hundreds. I don't have a current figure, but I know up to 2 years ago, it was more than 700 persons who have been arrested. Some of them have in fact been extradited to face trial here in the United States. So the government is doing what it can. The money transfer companies are doing what they can and what they have to do. And understand what it requires of them. I mean, they spoke about the inconvenience that many of you now have to contend with because they may ask you questions and some of you may consider, well, that's when they face the question. Where we get the money from? For your business.
Exactly.
But they have to do it. They have invested, as you've been told, considerable sums in technology, in training of staff. 20% of the Western Union staff now they're on lookout. They're not serving you over the counter. They're watching to try and see if they can find a suspicious transaction. And of course, all of that, if they didn't have to do that, the fees that they charge you for transactions wouldn't be what they are. But we can't fight this battle alone. And we shouldn't have to fight it alone. Scamming is emanating from countries in Latin America, in parts of Europe, parts of Africa, parts of Asia, and some of it is coming from right here in the United States. So it's not a battle that we should have to fight alone. It's a worldwide problem. And I'll tell you something more. Law enforcement alone is not going to be able to deal with it. We need to engage other scamming countries, the other countries where the scamming is coming from. We need a public awareness program in target countries that include, like here in the United States. Because we need to sensitize would-be victims to be more cautious, more discriminate, more contemplative, more aware, more suspicious when they get the call. And we can't expect America to do that for us because we're the ones doing the scamming and there are people that are being scammed. But I believe that if the countries, if we were to begin a conversation with the other countries from which this problem emanates, I believe that the American government would be willing to work with us and say, hey, let's try and see if we can create a greater sense of cautiousness and awareness on the part of people so that when they get this call, hang up the phone. If more and more people would do that, this cabin would dry up, It is when people say, oh, how much you say I win? Let me say a word about the Jamaican diaspora. The Jamaicans who live abroad are a source of immense pride to us back home. Immense pride. The Jamaican diaspora is exceptional in the depth of its patriotism, in the extent to which it cherishes its identity, in the extent to which it exudes the strength of its culture. I don't think most of you here, if indeed any of you, fully appreciate the significant role you play as ambassadors. Ambassadors for your country, making your presence felt, providing the wheels for the popularization of our music, our language, our culture, our food. The lasting impression you create on people when you meet them at the workplace, in the supermarket, in the clubs, in the restaurants, wherever. There are so many people that I have met myself who have never once been to Jamaica, but talk as if they know so much about Jamaica because of people that they interact with here who are from Jamaica. There are hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans here in the United States. Don gave you some figures. There are some 17,000 that arrive each year, legally.